Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Respawn Podcast, episode 10. Let's go, boys and girls, let's go. Bash, how are you feeling, man? I am so excited right now. Double digits, bro.
Double. Double trouble, double digits.
Ooh.
Make it nice, do it twice. Twice time digits, brother. Twice
Ooh.
times. It's great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We made it to episode 10. I know a lot of people out there thought we weren't going to make it. I'm kidding. No one thought that.
Yeah, it's all the haters we hear.
To all the haters. To all the haters. I thought it was going to be more like badass with that, but I had nothing after to all the haters. I've never really had haters in life, so I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, it's a good thing, bro. We literally don't have any haters. Maybe we're like over elevating ourselves, yeah. But
Yeah.
you know what? We ain't elevating the fact that we're on episode number 10.
Yeah, and a prestigious event. You actually said episode. You didn't say episode. So round of applause for Llew, everyone. Round of applause for Llew. There we go. Brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I'll be honest. We thought we weren't going to get to double digits. I mean,
Who's
we were.
we?
We, Lord
You
Llew,
and I?
in the third person. In the third person.
Ah, See, Sir Bash is spot on.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, we were talking, was it earlier this week, when we were saying that it just feels like we're going from episode to episode in recording,
Yeah,
in recording. We're like, hey, we're recording tonight. Okay, let's go.
yeah.
We're like, whoa. Okay, but episode 10 is here, dude.
It is, yeah.
It
It
is
is live.
here.
It is in our faces. And you know what? It was literally 24 hours ago that we're shooting episode 9.
Literally,
But,
24
but yeah,
hours.
we are.
I agree. 24 hours.
It's the
Maybe
last week
23.
of freaking November, man. Where
Ugh,
has the time gone? Where has the month actually gone? That is the
dude.
question I have for you. That is our time space conundrum, Bash. Where
So
is it going?
I actually I was having a chat with someone earlier this week, right? And we came to a very interesting theory as to why time is passing the way it's passing.
Give us the brief version. Let's go
So,
through it.
so basically, right? It comes down to the digital space. Okay. Now here,
Cryptocurrency, brother.
no, not crypto, not crypto. Hold on, I need to just rewind. I need to follow me here, Lou. Just focus. So the digital space, because if you think about maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago, right? When you
Yeah,
woke up in the morning, the only
yeah,
life that you worried about was yours. The only things you needed to get done, the only updates that you saw, the only things you were keeping track of, right?
mm,
Am I right?
yeah. Well, yeah,
Now,
dude, I was like 7 years old, so yeah.
so now, okay, let's say 10 years ago, okay? uh, that's tough. So now, when you look at it, every day when you wake up, it's not just your world, your life you're keeping track of.
Yeah,
Now, when you wake up, you're already following world news.
yeah,
You know what's happening in the Middle East. You know what's happening in America. You know what's happening in Asia.
yeah.
You're following the lives of all your friends, all your family, social media, your influences. You know all these kind of things.
Mm,
So all of a sudden, your headspace is just huge right now.
yeah.
It's no longer just the one task, and it's like you end up on this kind of what's the word? It's like charge. You have a level of stimulation where maybe time's not necessarily passing faster, but
Mm.
your experience of it is crazy because your stimulation is so much higher.
It's a good theory, man.
Yeah, you know what
It
I'm
is a
saying?
good
And
theory, yeah.
and it's like sometimes you have to make the decision to be like, wait, I gotta unplug here. Like, whoa. Because
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, we have touched on this many times in previous episodes, and we were saying how if you stop and you unplug and you take time to, focus, clear your mind, all these kind of things,
Yeah,
instead of the normal morning routine of finding out what's happening in the world with everyone's lives and, finding
yeah.
a new billionaire routine early in the morning, right?
And
If
4 days in 1 day, brother.
that's it, 4 days in one day, kind of thing. But 4 days in one day. I mean, if you stop and you leave all of that stuff out, all of a sudden your day's long.
Mm.
You've got a
It's
lot
true.
to do.
That is so, so true. Oh my
You know,
gosh.
you know what I'm saying? And it's really that mindfulness. It's
Yeah,
like you where you have today where you're just focusing on one track, which is your life, and okay,
yeah,
what am I gonna do today? Who am I gonna influence? What am I gonna achieve today? All that kind of stuff. Now you're like, okay, but this minister said this, and that bill is being passed, and now they're launching rockets, and troops are moving, and indicators are saying this. The market's down, inflation's up. all this kind of stuff, and all of
Mm.
a sudden you just run out of time because you just become aware of so many things that are all happening at the same time.
Dude, it is so true. And let's even make it a bit more of a micro scale, right? If you just like that with a friend or family member, right? Let's say someone in your family's got some drama going on, or like something's happening with your friends there and stuff. And as soon as you plug into that, already time feels like it's just zooming past.
Dude.
So it could be a thing of no matter what you're plugging into, it's that that idea of all the additional stimuli that you
E-
mentioned,
Exactly.
irrespective of whether it's coming through the cell phone or people that you know or
Yeah.
the community or whatever. That is so, so true.
Yeah.
And man, I tell you, I've come to a place this year where I've limited my amount of time on social media,
Mm.
like for pleasure viewing and stuff, or just for like normal content like consuming, to make sure that I only do it like literally like for like 30 minutes in the evenings. And on the days that I actually manage to follow that, dude, those are my productive days, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Crazy.
The other thing is also WhatsApp groups.
Oh, mute and archive, bro.
No way. Well, it depends. It depends what the group is,
Yeah.
sort of thing. There's social ones, there's operational ones, all these kind of things. But like WhatsApp groups can, sometimes I'll have like a block out of like 2-3 hours, whatever. I don't know if I've got meetings or I'm driving, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Seeing clients, dude. Let me open up that phone again.
Whoosh.
That thing is like on plus 65. And then people are like, why don't you ever say anything on the groups? I'm like, because I can't freaking keep up with the groups. Like,
Yeah, by the time you're there, like the conversation's gone through 5 different topics,
dude. And then
10 disagreements, and 2 confirmations. And you're like,
that's it, brother.
I'm
And
just
like
watching.
3 people have left in between, 5 people have been added, and I'm like, okay. At this point in time, I am I'm admin in the group, but at this point in time, I
Yeah.
am a spectator.
Yeah.
My authority has been usurped. A
It's a
mutiny
silent
is
partner, bro.
it's okay. Silent partner. I'll take that action. Okay,
Yeah.
but then you try and catch up with the messages, and then they're like, those ones where you have to read more, and
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, what is going on here? And then I go all the way down and I see like the last few. I'm like, oh, I really should like I want to comment on this. This is like
Yeah.
good. But then now I can't remember where the start of it was. And I'm just like, you know what? I've got 5 other groups where the same thing's happening.
You know what, Bash? I got a solution for you, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Popped
yeah.
into my brain right now.
Yeah.
You put those groups on a rotation. Monday, you make sure you respond to X group. Tuesday, you respond to Y group. And Wednesday, you respond to Z group. You just keep it going, bro. Being the silent partner ain't cool, man. We want to hear from you, bro. We
Listen,
want to
but
hear from you.
that on this podcast, you always find the better way. Lou, that is the better way. I'll give you props for that one. That was episode 10 has done something to you, man. You've become this wise and profound leader here, you man. Strategies.
Lord Lou. Lord Lou.
Lord Lou, Italian Lord Lou. I don't know what this thing
The
you do,
pots and the pizza.
dude. It's not pizza, it's
Yeah,
pizza.
I
And
know. I can't do the accents, man. The pasta and the pizza. I need like 3 takes on that, man.
yeah,
Give
no,
me
maybe we
something else
do.
to say. The what? The bottle.
What a bottle.
Wapa.
But how's your week been, man? What's been happening? I
Yeah,
know
it's
you were
Tuesday, man. So the
you
week hasn't
were
been that long, bro.
okay. When I say week, I mean since the last episode.
Yeah, but remember that was 24 hours ago.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That's also true. Okay, so not much then, I guess.
Nah, nah, we're
Oh.
surviving, bro. That's like hashtag survival. We're entering into festive silly season. Hashtag survival. But
Mm.
on a serious note, though, things are good, bro. Things
That's
are
good.
picking up. Business is picking up instead of going down, which is cool. Praise God.
Praise
Hallelujah.
the Lord.
Amen. Very, very
Hallelujah.
cool.
That's it.
Overwhelmed by the learning experiences as I have been since we started on episode 1. Actually, I spoiled myself today
What do you mean? How? Why didn't you spoil me?
because Bash, you're my elder, and I expect gifts from you.
Oh, is that how it goes? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So please tell me and the viewers how you spoiled yourself today.
It was pretty nerdy, so I don't know if I want to expose myself,
No, you
man.
have to. You don't have
But
a choice. You mentioned it. You don't have a choice.
it's Black Friday. It's Udemy. There's a couple of courses in the bag, in the cart, checked out. Ka-ching.
Okay, hold on. You spoiled yourself with Udemy courses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nerdy, bro.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you see, it's
nerdy.
this thing we like, I actually got it from Diddy. From Diddy. It's a thing called Mr. Budget. And Mr.
Ah,
Budget says, you know what, we can spend there, but not there.
I
So we're like,
see.
we're like, okay. And you know what? Whether you're going through a tough time or not, um, what do they call it? Retail therapy does not change, bro. Or whether you're on a learning experience or like on a proper, just I don't know, spend whatever retail therapy, man, it does something for the brain.
It's weird,
But
eh?
it is weird. It's I don't know what's actually better. So let me get your take on this.
Okay.
Is it more exciting to see something new waiting for you? Like let's say the course now that because that's what I mentioned. And you've been on the learning curve recently as well for the past couple of years. So you can relate to this. Is it more exciting to see a course there brand new waiting for you
Okay.
or to see it there finished?
Okay. I have one reservation with your question because if a course is finished, I'm not looking at it anymore. I'm like, I'm
No,
done.
no, no. Okay, okay, okay. Just there when you get that completion certificate.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
a better
listen.
feeling.
Listen, with the number I've done, the completion is so much better because for so long that little freaking purple bar
Yes, it's
moves so slow.
it's like surely I've done 5%. Surely.
Yeah,
Because I realized
surely.
Udemy goes in increments of 5%. So I'm like, that wasn't 5%. That was not 5%. This whole day was not 5%. Then I asked myself, like, am I struggling? Like, am I stupid? Like, am I going this slow? You know what I always ask myself, and it's quite
uh,
embarrassing, but
mm,
it's the truth, you know. The respawn's about being truthful, right?
okay.
I always ask myself, what would Bash have done?
Wrong question. Wrong question.
I know, bro, but actually ask myself because like we discussed last episode, you're like the expert at redlining. So I'm like, I haven't even finished 5%. I wonder if Bash should have done like 15, 20, or 50. And then I just sit there, I'm like, yeah. Anyways, carrying
but
on.
but let's be honest about the paradox about this time thing that we're talking about where we can't track. How
Yeah.
is time moving that quick, but that damn progress bar is moving like at
Dude,
half the speed?
dude, tell me,
Yeah.
please explain it. How is a 16-hour course taking me more than a day? What is taking up my time apart from the not understanding and struggling and Googling in between? But damn it, man. False lies. They should honestly like tell you 16 hours is the expected time. No, no, 16 hours is the recorded time. 48 hours is the expected completion time.
That's it, bro.
50 hours, you're struggling, get some help.
That's it.
Something like that, you know?
That's it.
They should give like some AI bot to help us out there.
No. Well, I think they kind of like want to surprise you with that. You know, they're
Oh.
like, listen, you know, we can't give you the true expectation because what's gonna happen is you're kind of like gonna be, you know, turned away from it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Yeah,
gonna be
you
so
ain't gonna commit.
attractive. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh, that's only 8 hours. Oh, that's great. That's cool. No, it's 8 hours of video.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
8 hours to understand, take it in,
Nah,
make notes, make sure
that's
you
it.
understand, do the project, do the exercises, meet for coffee to get the exercises figured out, struggle with the exercises after the coffee as well, and then convince yourself that you understand what's happening. Yeah,
It sounds
8
it
hours.
sounds fantastic. I mean, I think when I signed up for the Java one, it was 83 hours or something.
Sheesh.
It wasn't great. I'll be honest, 83 hours. I was like, I could knock that out. No, it was like almost double that because, you know, with anything about learning, you literally create new neural pathways
Yeah,
so you can have understanding.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And depending on whether or not you are used to creating neural pathways, so you have a healthy brain
Mm,
that's constantly learning or whatever, that could be a shorter process. You know, so like a lot of people say, no, no, I'm a quick learner. It's
yeah.
normally because they're constantly learning mode, so they're always
Mm,
creating these new neural pathways. You know, but
yeah.
like people who become just consumers and observers and they're never learning and creating, they dude to learn something new, it's like oh, and you know what the worst part is that you can't be a learner overall. You have like specific kind of disciplines where you're a learner. You know what I'm saying?
Left brain, right brain,
Yeah,
sports, maths,
it's more like the
English,
type
numbers.
of it's the type of skill you're trying to learn. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I know specifically there are certain things I can learn faster than other things.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like so interesting to think that you know, and we always bring it back to this kind of thing, you know, the Bible kind of thing, is that I found that people who have always traditionally been lazy to learn, you know, they
Yeah,
struggle to grow in their walk with God because you literally are learning a whole new way of life.
100%.
You know what
And
I'm
learning
saying?
requires accountability, and
Yeah,
often
yeah.
lazy people don't have that.
Exactly, you know. But the thing is, look, it's not about getting it done quickly or whatever. It's about making
Mm,
sure you're doing every step. That's
that's it.
that's really the key, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, no, that learning process, let me tell you, man, but you know what? It's the thing in between where you get to that, you feel like you've accomplished so much, and then you look and it's like 20%, and you're like, How
Mm,
much more is there to learn? You know,
mm.
I mean, at one stage, I left it for like 9 months. I paused. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, no ways. This is not
I think
getting.
I'm in that phase right now.
Listen, but
Oh, it's tough, man.
it's a tough thing. It is a tough thing. But I I found that what you really got to be good at is um, looking at things in a way, all right, that makes sense to the way your brain works.
Yeah,
So I was a math tutor for probably like 3 or 4 years after high school, right?
yeah,
Because the math center that I went to, they asked me to come back. Like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, no, I'm studying. It's like, cool. Part-time job, come and tutor maths. We'll pay you per
yeah.
hour. It was great. It was like really amazing, you know? But what I
And you
found
say I'm a
was,
nerd. You say I'm a nerd.
dude,
Really,
you are a nerd.
really.
For Black Friday, you bought yourself Udemy courses. That's great. I
Um,
love that. Listen, that's amazing. I love that. But for Black Friday, I want to buy myself like a 7800 XTX or
wow,
a
wow.
neural DSP quad
Uh,
cortex.
so when did you win the lotto, Bash? When did this take place?
No, no, no. I said I want to. Doesn't mean I can.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, I was looking at Porsche first on their website for Black Friday. I went onto secondhand car places just to window shop the prices there, man.
And how'd it go?
Yeah, depressing, but at the same time, like really motivating.
You realize when you see those prices, like I gotta do more courses. Like what the?
I didn't buy enough, Bash.
But wait a minute. Wait, what was the point I was making? Oh yeah. So the tutoring, right?
Yeah,
So I what was a very interesting thing that I picked up from all the different students, because I mean the math center had like hundreds of students, you know, and they have like set slots that they come in the week, you know.
yes,
So
yeah,
I normally used to do like Saturday morning 8 to 12 was my kind of slot for tutoring, and then in the week if I had time. So I would eventually like start seeing the same kids over and over, you know.
yeah.
There'd be different kids when someone's catching up a block or something like that, you know.
Mm,
And I promise you, it was so interesting that the same concept I had to explain differently to every kid who sat down
mm,
at the table.
yeah,
Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that every single one of us understands that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I would explain, okay, so this is the quadratic equation, and you explain it one way to someone, and they're like, oh,
Mm.
that's so cool. So I'm like, wow, that way worked. Cool. Next kid comes, this is the quadratic equation, and you explain it the same way, and they're like,
Huh?
yeah, yeah, that sound. Yeah, I like that sound. You know what I'm saying? And the truth
Yeah,
is that it's not a matter of ability. You know, everyone's got the cognitive ability. You know,
mm,
obviously confidence is a big thing in it. You know,
100%.
if
Yeah,
you haven't had a chance to test it and see the result of it, and you know go through that process, then confidence doesn't really build. But you can't really test the ability until you've understood in the way that you need to.
yeah.
You with me? For
Makes sense.
example,
Yeah.
like some people need a story, some people need a picture, some people,
Mm,
you know, need a lot of detail, some people need very high level concept.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that everyone figure that out for themselves, because for me, um, I've made like a pattern.
yeah,
So if someone's trying to teach me something, there's a way that you know you learn over the years. Flip. That's how I learn the best.
yeah,
That's the way that I learn the best. You know. So when
yeah.
someone explains something, you try and assimilate the information through that kind of strategy,
Mm,
you know. And it's so crazy that it's unique to all of us. It's like something that we all have to figure out, you know.
yeah,
And the hard part is like you were talking about when I said, you know, I put it down for like however many months, and you're like, yo, I'm there, you know. Is
yeah,
that you got to take all this information and you got to like process it and be like, okay, all right, let's take this piece. All right, how am I making sense of this? You
yeah,
know, do I need to like get props and like build it? Do I need to draw a picture? What can I relate it to? Because
mm,
the big thing that we often do is that we try and relate it to something we already know. Why? Because we feel safe there.
yeah. Familiarity, man.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, so it's how I do that. It's like, no, it's not how you do that. You with me? But
Yeah,
there's certain things in the way you do that that we can use to understand this, but it's
yeah,
not how you understand that.
yeah,
You with me? I don't know if you felt that struggle where you just like, okay, I need to develop a new way to understand you.
yeah. 100%, man. The frameworks is not a. You can't paint them all with the same brush, man. Unfortunately, I
Mm,
wish you could, but like even for myself, I found that, and this has been going on since school. You know, I need like a practical, almost walkthrough of
mm,
something.
mm,
Otherwise, I just don't get it, man.
mm,
Like if
mm,
I don't see that, if 1 plus 2 equals 3, and you just tell me 1 plus 2 equals 3, I'm just like, but how? Why? Like, I need to see it. And it was the same in art. I had to see, like, okay, you're telling me to do this, but then do it. Once I've seen you do it, I then, like, I don't know, something in my brain is like, that's how they do it.
Mm.
That's how they implement it. And then it's the same now with the web development. Don't just tell me what the code does. Let me do it and see it, or let me
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you
yeah,
do it,
yeah.
and then I can see results. I'm like, okay, then it's cool.
No,
Because even like
100%.
what you're saying, different ways of learning. That's why I think a lot of kids struggle in school, man, because the teachers often, because of the size of the classes and lack of time and whatever, they can't explain it 10 different ways,
Mm. Or
unfortunately.
40 different ways.
Or 40, exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
40 different ways. And I experienced that, especially with a difficult subject like physics, for example. Dude,
Yeah.
grade 10 and 11, those educators made like literal zero sense to me. Even though the other kids getting 90%, I was like, I'm lost. And then in matric, bro, I got like an additional resource textbook, but it was like a special
Yeah.
kind.
What was it called? I know that
But this
textbook,
one,
dude. That text
but
that thing you bought it from CNA, right?
yeah,
That thing saved my physics in matric, dude. I
bro,
kid you not.
I can't explain to you, yeah, how that thing saved me. I was like, it
Dude.
clicks. I'm not stupid. It makes sense just because they
Exactly.
explained it in such a way that I could grasp it. I'm like,
Mm,
this is so cool.
mm,
And the major thing that kicked in then was confidence, like you're saying,
yeah.
absolute confidence. But I'm glad that we're on this topic, Bash, because I got an interesting question to ask you, right?
Oh
Because
no. Really? You're supposed to
it,
prep me with these things, brother.
hell nah, hell nah. I'll give you some food for thought, right? So
that I
episode
got that
one.
I gotta chew and spit out now.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Okay.
sure you've thought about it. Given your character, this is something you've thought about before.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go for it.
So episode.
Ooh, ooh. Wait, okay, you gotta hold up. We are not moving past that. Okay. Okay. We are not let's just you went from episode to episode. Let's just talk about this list that has come up.
All right,
Louis, do
say
you have
bet, and I'll talk with the lisp for the rest of the podcast.
bet?
It's on.
No, no, no. Unbet. Unbet. I can't do it. I can't do it. No ways.
It's too late.
I
oh,
can't do it. I
oh,
can't.
this is terrible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's unbet. I unbet it. I unbet. Go.
Beth, you can't unbet,
No.
bro.
Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad.
Alrighty.
I can't
Think
believe that.
fate.
I can't believe there's no S's in your name. Like seriously. Anyway,
Yeah, it's glorious. But anyway. All right, Lou, concentrate, focus. Right.
focus.
So, Ah, piss off, mate. oh,
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 jeez.
that's terrible.
Well, that's not nice.
Ugh, stop it.
Okay, we're done
Stop it.
now. Okay, we're done. Focus. Viewers are laughing or getting irritated now. One of the two is
Yeah,
happening.
one of
Okay.
the two.
All right.
So, anyways, episodes 1 through to 10, we've been talking about this thing called the process.
Mm.
Episode 1 through to 10, we've been giving tools about how to go through the process, things that can help the viewers and ourselves find a better way on the process. But there's a key concept that I realize we have not covered yet.
Okay.
And that's the idea or the concept of standards. Standards. Quality standards.
Standard.
Standards. Right? Now, what do I mean by that? So, for example, we can go through a process. You and I, we can both go to a house and be told that, you know what, Bash, Lou, you guys need to paint your houses. Whoever paints it the best wins a prize. And I could paint it the fastest, like literally in an hour, but slapdash, this thing looks horrible. And
Mm.
you could take 2 weeks to paint the house and it's been done beautifully. And that could just be because of different standards that we hold to what looks like a good job, a finished job, a completed job,
Yeah, and also
right?
what we think about painting.
Exactly. Yeah. A whole bunch of factors, right?
Yeah.
And now the food for thought is that we are living in a country, right, where 30% at school is an acceptable pass rate. So 30% of whatever subject it is that you've chosen is enough to know to then be launched into the real world and university and be expected to be competent and capable and fine
Yeah.
and confident
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're only holding 30% of whatever it is. So the question I'm getting to is what should the standard be in our process? And where the hell do these standards come from that each person has? Because take
Mm.
people like you and I, like we've discussed many times in the past, we've got ridiculously high standards for certain things. Whereas other people, 20% less is their ridiculously high standard. Where other people are 50% higher than us, and that's their okay standard.
Mm.
So where's this coming from, man? And what is the better way when it comes to a standard in the process? Because we understand that we can't be doing things in a laxy-daisy manner or in a way that whatever it is that we're setting out to do is not complete or not functional. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. And I'm sure everyone can agree on that. We don't
Yeah.
put 10 hours into an activity just for the activity not to work out, or at least result in some form of the final image that we had in mind,
Mm. Mm.
a working model of sorts. So, for example, the tennis. I'm sure that when you started, how many years ago? Was it about 4, 3, 5 years ago that you started to get back into it properly?
Yeah,
It was
probably
around about
4.
COVID time or so before
Just
that, right?
before. Yeah, just
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
And I'm sure when you started that, there was almost an end goal to say, you know what, at first I'm going to get back to this level
Mm.
in terms of maybe just fitness and technique. But from there, there's another one and another one and another one. And the list can go on and on.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that in place, you literally have no end goal to move towards.
Yeah.
So the way that I'm seeing it is that standards are connected to our end goals, or at least they should
Mm.
be to a
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
But what I'm noticing, especially in a country like ours, and it's a bit of a paradox because if you speak to any of the expats and stuff, and the guys that have moved to overseas countries like New Zealand, Australia, England, those guys hate us because South Africans are typically seen as so capable of doing the whole job, where they've got 10 people that would typically do it.
Yeah.
You need one South African.
Yeah.
But yeah, living in South Africa, you're starting to see a change in the tide where standards are not a thing anymore. And
Yeah.
just like any government institution, and you'll see that apart from maybe SARS.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, what is happening? What is happening inside the internal thinking of
Mm.
people? And what is your take? What is your take on standards
Jeez,
in the
dude, you said
process?
you said you had a question. My man came out with a whole thesis here. What is going on? My God. Okay, so
I'm done talking for the night. Back handing over to you, audience. It's been
Yeah.
great. Cheers.
So look, I think you touched on micro and macro there. Micro meaning the individual, macro obviously where you use
Yeah,
the country example. So I mean, let's focus on micro first,
yeah,
because ultimately, macro in this example is just the end effect of lots of macros. Yeah,
100%.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So I think, firstly, standards, right? So what's important? So like you use the tennis example, right? Standards can actually be very crippling
mm,
when we're talking about our own internal standards, our
I agree.
personal standards, and
Yeah,
for example, let's take the tennis example, right? I put in all the effort, I do it, and man, I am ripping this forehand down the line like you cannot believe. The ball is getting off the strings perfectly. That topspin is so high, it's bouncing
mm,
in the court. When it hits that ground, it is moving. It's
yeah,
like it is perfect. Okay,
yeah,
but internally, okay, what's happening internally could be that no, I got to do better. I got to
yeah,
do better. I got to do better. I got to do better. And the reason that happens is everyone has a kind of sense of the potential that they have.
mm,
You with me? But I believe the problem comes in with internal standards versus external standards, right? Because um, we may have internal standards that are so far above external standards
yeah.
that we never actually have confidence to do anything externally because we feel like we can't do anything.
Sheesh.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
I'm sure.
saying?
I'm
So
sure everyone
so
can relate to that as well.
yeah, so I mean, we could have such high standards and we're like, no, I got to do better. I got to do better. I got to do better. But um, you know, when you look at the external standard, what everyone else is doing and what the norm is, and all these kind of things, you
Yeah.
could be meeting all of those things and more. But internally, you could feel like you're just not good enough.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? You could feel like, whoa, this is these, and it is that kind of sense of potential, but it becomes dangerous when that sense of potential becomes the key to value
yeah.
or the key to acceptance.
Mm.
It's like I got to do this better so that I feel like I'm valuable. I got to do this better so I'm accepted.
Are we going back to objective anchors, bro?
Objective anchor, and I'm one. But so we'll put that back on objective anchor. Guys,
Yeah.
go back to the other episodes to talk about it. But this point we haven't discussed, right? Um, the point of having internal standards but never ever doing anything about it. Because that's also a place where you could be completely crippled. Because you know what actually starts happening is you start becoming delusional.
So when you say doing something about it in terms of dealing
No,
with the standards or trying to reach them,
no, no. I'm saying not doing something about it. So
not doing
yeah.
something.
So like, have you ever been in that space where you had an idea and or even dealt with people? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, dude, that's cool. What's your plan? No, no, I'm just gonna be a millionaire.
I'm just gonna do it, bro. It's
That's
just
it.
gonna happen.
It's in me. I am destined to be a
My
millionaire.
mama told me.
My mama
No.
told me. Yeah, 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 yeah. My mama done said that, Uh so let's talk that millionaire example, right? So
Yeah.
someone's like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm like, okay, cool. So I mean, what are you doing? Are you studying something? What's the skill? What's the product? Have you
Mm.
identified the niche in the market? It's like, no, I just know I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. That's
Oh.
cool. All right.
Means your secret, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. And then a couple years down the line, they still like, yeah, no, no, I'm gonna be a millionaire. It's fine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a millionaire. Okay, what's your plan? How are you getting there? And eventually, what takes place down the road is that that person will actually start believing that they are,
Mm.
regardless of what's happening externally.
Yeah.
You with me? Because if you just hold on to an internal standard or belief and you don't bring that out externally, you don't bring that out into your life.
Yeah.
That's what we call a delusion.
Mm.
You
And
with
those
me?
can be
It's like,
toxic real quick.
yeah, it's like, I knew a guy a couple of years ago. He was convinced that he was the greatest people's person,
Mm.
that ever existed. And then you see him with people, and it's just like,
Dude.
but he would walk around thinking that, this is the thing. and
Yeah.
and what tends to happen is that if we hold onto those things without taking the accountability, like you're saying, learning, with learning
Yeah.
comes accountability, taking the accountability to produce the fruit in line with that, to produce the signs in line with that. So, for example, I'm going to be a millionaire. Okay, cool. Lou, if I tell you I'm going to be a millionaire, cool. So we'll have that conversation now. Next year, you'll come to me and say, okay, so Bash, what is the net worth increase by?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If I say to you, Lou, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna become a software developer. Geez,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Cool. So next year you come to me, it's like, okay, so what can you do? It's like, no, no, I
Mm.
can't do anything yet, but I'm gonna be a software developer. Yeah,
Eish.
yeah, you with me? And then I go around and I tell everyone I'm gonna be a software developer. All this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't match an action to that to get onto the pathway to do it. What's
Yeah.
going to happen is, right, I am going to hold on to something that has no proof that it is or anything like that. And I'm going to delude myself.
Yeah.
You with me? I am now believing things that are untrue, things that aren't based on evidence, right? Because
Mm.
of how I want to feel if I was that.
Oh, that's dangerous, man.
Very dangerous, dude.
Yeesh.
So your question has two sides to it.
Yeah.
The one is where you analyze where your internal standard brings you to a crippling point where you actually have such a high standard, but you can't sort of have confidence in what you can do, right?
Yeah.
And the other side is the one I've just explained now, is that where you want to have a certain internal standard, whether it's high or low or whatever, your certain internal standard that you have, but you do not take the accountability to act that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say take a basic example. Let's take guys for example, right? Every guy will tell a girl he's a gentleman, right?
Yeah.
But if you watch him, he's not a gentleman.
Mm.
But he says, no, I'm a gentleman. Why? Because it's good to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
So if he can tell everyone that he's a gentleman and he doesn't act accordingly, he's the one who's deluded.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, you need to show that you're a gentleman more than you need to say you're a gentleman.
And that's biblical, man. I
No,
mean,
of
literally, the
course.
Bible tells us observe the fruit.
That's it. That's
So
it.
don't say that you're X, Y, and Z when your actions every single day are displaying a very different picture.
No,
It just doesn't make
absolutely.
sense. And
And I mean,
actually, you can't expect anyone to even listen to you then,
mm,
or to take you for your, or to take your word for it,
yeah,
because eventually it's almost like that saying, fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice,
shame on
shame
me.
on me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it really comes down to that as
Mm.
well.
And I mean, it's also what James said about, where faith without works is dead. Now, he wasn't saying you must work to have more faith,
Mm,
or he wasn't saying that faith alone is enough. No,
yeah,
he was challenging the people to what they claimed, to the faith they claimed to have.
Mm,
Because you see, what they didn't understand is that if you claim to have faith, it will produce action.
100%.
You don't have faith until you show it in your works.
That's it. And in all honesty, that's just looking at the word maturely.
Yeah.
It's not like it was difficult or in a said in a difficult manner or a hard way
No,
to
it's just,
understand properly.
it's
Just be
reality.
mature,
Yeah.
just suck it up, bro.
Mm. No, it is what it is. So,
Yeah,
so that being said, the extreme response is okay. But then, must I not have standards? No, no, no. Listen, you must have all those things. You have them. You can't avoid them. You
100%.
with me? But here's the thing: you need to seek God for the wisdom on how you're going to bring these things about.
Mm,
You know what? If you want to be a certain type of professional in your field, if you want to have a certain level of skill, right? What are you doing to get there?
yeah,
You can't
but
just sit back and hope it happens.
yeah,
You
pertinent
you with
question.
me? Last week we were playing tennis, and man, I was having a bad service day. Like my serve was just atrocious, right? Which
Isn't that like all the time?
uh, more often than not. But anyway, so and and I was 15-40 down, right?
Yeah.
It was 15-40, two break points down, and my opponent says, Bush, your destiny is in your hands. I was like, wow, no pressure, no pressure. But the truth is, there in that moment, right? I can think to
Yeah,
myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm like Roger Federer. I'm this. I'm this. No, no, hold on, wait. But what do I have to tap into to be like that now?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Well, what is the decision I'm gonna take to make sure that that comes out now?
yeah.
You with me? And like you to your earlier points of the objective anchored, right? That is now where we say, okay, cool. If I've got this thing inside me that, okay, Lord, you've gifted me with whatever, and
Mm,
the truth is I can be this or I can be that, then we need to say, okay, well, what's inside of me that's going to help me produce this? And it's the Holy Spirit.
yeah,
We need to go to him and say, Holy Spirit, wow, I see an opportunity here. This can work.
yeah.
Help me. How do I bring this out? And whether it's going to be, it's going to be studying and research and actually going out and testing and meeting people and
Mm,
all these kind of things, whatever it's going to be, all those standards, they need to drive an action. They can't
mm,
just be there.
yeah,
Are you with me?
yeah. And also to your point, man, the high standard that we have set internally, the only way that we're ever gonna really make monumental steps towards it, or even small steps day to day, is to get to a working standard,
Yeah, that's it.
as you like to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was a key concept that you broke down to me is that Lou, you've got your internal standard. That thing is nonsense. It's incredibly high. It's good to have, but it's not realistic at times.
Mm,
Get to the working model.
mm,
And what I found that, when once we had that conversation and I took some time to reflect and just think about it, I was like, you know what? That's what I've had to establish with literally everything
mm.
in my whole life. And I was like, damn it, man. Why did I think I didn't have to do that now? It's like so irritating. But yeah, we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Reminding you of a better way to do things. And the
That's it.
working standard is the only way that number one, you get to test where you're currently at and make improvements and build upon it or make adjustments or
Mm,
to see that, hey, wait, this is good. It's like really, really good, actually. Better than I thought. We
yeah,
can work with this for
yeah,
some time until we get, like you're saying, Holy Spirit, what's the next step for this?
yeah.
And the working standard is also the only way that you ever start impacting those around you as well.
That's it.
Because if you're keeping it all to yourself because you're trying to get to the perfect 360-degree circle, dude, no one's ever going to benefit from whatever it is that you've already accumulated in the process. So I think maybe to sum it up, we can then say is that, as you mentioned on the previous episodes, is that take a step back in the process and see where you're at
Yeah,
and do some reconnaissance and just say, okay, cool. This is where we're at. This is cool. This is good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
while you're doing that, see where you are in terms of a working model in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve.
Mm,
It's really
100%.
pertinent. Otherwise, you're never going to get started. And number two, your confidence just ain't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And
And
in all
you
honesty,
and
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
forfeit opportunities because of that.
that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it always comes down to that saying, and it's something that's a bit of a cliche, but when they say that hard work always beats talent, it's the hard work needs to happen, and the
That's
hard
it.
work only comes in by grabbing the opportunities.
That's
You
it.
have to grab the opportunities, and also that's how you learn, man. It's literally how you learn is through opportunity.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you stuff up the opportunity, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. There's a silver lining to it.
Yeah.
and
I,
it's,
I
it's better than
always
not taking the opportunity.
I always like to say that it's in the opportunities you learn the unknown things.
Whew.
You
Where'd you
know what I'm
steal
saying?
that from, mate? Where
Yeah.
did you steal that from?
No, I literally
Or did
always,
you make that up on the spot?
I literally like put together the thought like that would sound nice, but I knew it, because the difference is that you're always gonna see things that are obvious to you,
Yeah.
but the minute you take action, there's a lot of unknown things that you're gonna learn.
Dude, completely,
You
man,
with me?
completely.
And I think to add to how you were summarizing everything, Lou, is like, guys, um, always understand that your internal standard is always a process.
Mm,
So that internal image that you have, it's always a process. And every time you're going to get close to it, it's going to get bigger, it's going to get better, right?
yeah.
Because as your proficiency in something is increasing, your possibility is increasing.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? It may
that's cool.
be, yeah, it may be at one point where decades down the line, you're like, okay, this is maxed out. Kind of thing. Or, okay, I'm
What is it,
tired.
decades, bro?
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm tired. I don't need any more of this. I'm done, kind of thing. But you always got to accept that, okay, that thing is always a process and it's always increasing. It's always increasing. But that doesn't mean that just because I haven't reached the next level it's increased to, that I can't do anything practical. That
100%.
I'm
Yeah,
completely unable. I'm
that's it.
crippled because I haven't met this thing. No, 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 no. Internally, you're like, no, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and I've got a plan what I'm going to learn and who I'm going to speak to and where I'm going to study and whatever. But if someone comes to me, I must be able to see clearly. Like, yes, I can do that.
Mm. Like,
Not
imagine doctors had to wait until they could do a full heart transplant before they do stitches. You get what I'm saying? We'd be stuck, man.
we'd have a slight, like, yeah, we'd be very
Yeah,
stuck.
we'd have a problem.
We would. So wait, hold on. Just what did you say? Doctors had to wait.
Imagine like surgeons waited until they were capable of doing heart transplants before they allowed themselves to do normal stitches.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I thought you flipped it over. I'm like, dude, hold on a second. But that's it, and
Yeah.
and it's important, guys. It's important that what you need to do, and when opportunities present themselves, right? You need to have a good sense of what it's going to take to meet that.
Mm.
And oftentimes, our sense is clouded by this ever increasing internal standard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you actually have a good sense, and that's why it's so important that whatever you're carrying, whatever standard, whatever vision, anything, it's so important that you go out and you do something so that you can test it and you can
Mm.
say, all right, I've done that. That's what it takes to do that.
Yeah.
You with me? Otherwise, everything's terrifying.
Yeah.
Everything's fearful. Everything is like, oh, it's so big. I wish I need to find someone to help me with this or whatever, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, man, I think I think we summed it up quite well, to say it like that. And guys, from my side, you always got to remember that um, you have a lot of sort of elements that are always at play at the same time because you're fearfully and you're wonderfully made, right? God created you as this completely complex, intricate, majestic being in His
Mm.
image and His likeness, right? And yes, there is a process that you have to go through to manage the amazing being that you are. To
Yeah.
come to terms with, okay, wow, these are all the faculties that I have. This is how I'm going to manage it. This is what's been placed inside of me. This is the potential I have. This is how I can realize all these things. And it's important to always remember that whatever that process is, He's there. He's
Yeah.
with you. He's the helper. You
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing. And whatever it is you need to do, whatever it is, make sure you have that external anchor and make sure that whatever opportunity comes that you see clearly that, okay, wow, I can actually do that, and make
Yeah.
it the making sure is constantly put into practice what you're hoping for, what you're
That's it.
believing, constantly test it, constantly, don't just go study theory or get an understanding of a concept and be like, oh no, that's nice. Ooh, no.
Mm.
Get your feet on the ground and find an opportunity where you can test this, where you can put it into practice.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way when you see it, like you were saying earlier, Lou, like, what does this look like? When you see it
Mm.
in action, what that's going to do in your own heart is going to give you confidence, like, whoa,
That's it.
and you do one thing, click, you do another thing, click, you do another
Yeah.
thing, you do another. Eventually, you like bring it all. It's cool,
Exactly.
So for me, I'm Sir, hey, I'm not Lord.
Hell no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You
So
can be
for me,
captain or sir, bro. Captain
okay,
or sir. One of the
for
two.
for me, Thurbash, As always, guys, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, always remember, Jesus is your external anchor. If you choose the better way, I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, guys, that's about it. Episode 10. Go out and test it, guys. Go out and test it. We're here to tell you that the better way is that you are already qualified for
Mm.
anything and everything. You may not be capable, but hey, here's the good news. You can go and get capable. You can become capable. It is a process.
That's
And
it.
it all just comes down to believing in yourselves and taking the small steps each and every single day to build the confidence on the way.
That's
So
it.
from our side, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. We're going to be back with episode 11. We're in double digits now, which means that we are officially on our way to triple digits, which sounds glorious. So yeah, as always, guys, welcome to Respawn.